2010, Pearson Canada, software developers of BC ESIS, announced they would no longer be upkeeping the software, leading to great speculation. A year later, after a report from Gartner Incorporated, the Ministry of Education announced it was finally scrapping the controversial program. It stated, BC ESIS, as currently deployed, is not meeting the business, technical, or operational needs of BC and is not a viable future alternative. The Ministry believes that a student information system is crucial for the new BC Ed plan and must incorporate certain factors. The Ministry, in December 2011, invited interested groups to submit proposals to create the new SIS. On November 5, 2013, the Ministry of Education announced that they had signed a 12-year agreement with Fujitsu Consulting to deliver ConnectEd BC, their new SIS system. Built around Follett's Aspen SIS software, which is used expansively in the United States, the new system is delivered by the same company at roughly the same cost as the disgraced BC ESIS. Sounds a little bit like history repeating itself instead of looking to the future. Well, the solution is EduSits, and they believe that that future is now. Our product is an open source student information and tracking system to be offered as an alternative to the ConnectEd BC program and the upstart Open Student system from the Saanich School District. EduSits is a more comprehensive yet user-friendly version of the SIS system out there. It will track BC students from strong start through graduation. It will contain demographics on each student and track changes such as physicians, allergy, health risks, etc. It will contain a section for IEPs for all students on an individual plan. It will also track attendance and schedules. It will make changing schools easier as well, as cumulative records which schools need will be digitized and attached to student records until the physical cumulative files arrive at school. It will contain any and all instances of discipline, and further, it will contain a marking program which will offer weighting and individual assessment practices. Eventually, it will sync with the Ministry of Education and provide exam marks and official transcripts. If it contains certain permissions, certain information could also be shared with post-secondary institutions, and most importantly, it will fulfill the promise of BC ESIS and make itself accessible to parents. It is adaptable to the ever-changing BC Ed plan and seeks to create a common data structure. Oh, the best part? It's also nonprofit. EduSits will focus in on school districts. There are currently 60 school districts in BC, 56 of whom signed up for BC ESIS. So we will focus on contacting each and every district. We will get a table at the BC School Trustees Association's AGM, as well as the Superintendent's Conference. Each district also offers a public portion at board meetings. We will try and book demonstrations during this time. We believe that if we are given the opportunity to show what EdSits can do, districts will consider our product, especially given its adaptability. Although it is believed that most districts will sign up for ConnectEd BC, it's not a given. Open Student from Saanich has letters of support from 7 districts, 8 if you include Saanich. This demonstrates that an alternative can be successful. ESIS has left such a bad taste in educators' mouths that many are extremely leery of ConnectEd BC and its promises. They are the same promises BC ESIS had and never delivered on, so there would be market opportunity. In addition, the area to focus on would be the independent schools. Given that 100 signed up for BC ESIS, it would make sense to focus on them. Independent schools grow in BC each year and seek to find ways to intersect with the public arena. EdSits could do that. Start with a few districts and a larger number of the independent schools and try to grow in number each subsequent year. This is one area ignored both by ConnectEd BC and Open Student, so there is potential for an upstart to gain ground. This is where EdSits excels. It is an open source program for education designed by educators. The friendly interface would be designed with educators in mind. For example, BC ESIS was only able to place 13 names on a screen. It was clearly not designed with attendance in mind, even though that was its primary goal. Each facet of EdSits would be rigorously researched, each to ensure what is best for teachers and parents. The team would consist of Troy Moore, CEO and founder, BA, BEd, MET, 8 years of teaching experience from elementary to secondary. Has taught multiple subjects including math, science, English, social studies, and is currently a librarian. The rest of the team consists of a manager, who is responsible for overseeing the project, the IT leader, who's a hands-on troubleshooter, the IT architect, the office manager, database manager, 3 developers, a business manager, an education manager, an office worker, and sales. Each year, staffing would be reviewed and adjustments made as necessary. It is anticipated that staffing would need to grow each year until year 5. The BC Ed Plan released prior to calling for interested parties a 57-page checklist for any program. BC SIT stacks up well against the competition. Parent access to information. Open Student does not currently allow that. ConnectEd BC states that it will, but that remains to be seen. BC SITs will use a program modeled on a hybrid of the N-Grade software and Remind 101, which allows parents to not only see student marks, but also see what is due in the future. Personalized learning. This is a lot of lip service. Personalized learning comes from the classroom, not an information service. However, with that said, this program will offer multiple assessment groupings to ensure that assessment practices, such as assessment for learning, which promotes individual learning, are covered within the program. DL, or distributed learning. All programs are common data programs, so there should be no issue. 36% of students will take a distributed learning course over their career, so interaction is key. Usability. ConnectEd BC is modeled on big districts in the United States, so there's no proof that it will be user-friendly, and given that that was one of the biggest complaints of BC ESIS, Fujitsu has a lot to prove. Open Student is still in beta testing, so user-friendliness could be a potential problem. BC SITS is designed by educators for educators. So in comparison, BC SITS holds its own with competitors, yet doesn't possess the big flaw. Fujitsu has promised that ConnectEd BC will have an option to communicate with teachers outside of school hours. This statement's crazy. Most districts have a list of emails for teachers, and that's the most the district can hope for. To insinuate that teachers will be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is asinine, and something Fujitsu might live to regret. With that said, Open Student seems to not even want parents in the loop, which is a mistake as well. Good assessment requires that parents be kept abreast of what students are doing. Therefore, BC SITS really doesn't have any competition. The ask for investors will be approximately $3 million. This will include all startup costs, including but not limited to hardware, software, servers, wages, physical space, training, and communication. It is obvious that startup costs will be substantial, but subsequent years will not rise because new staff will be taken on. The $3 million price tag is higher than Open Student, which is only looking for an investment of around $2.5 million, but has school district assistance, which has offset its costs. But it is far smaller than the $9.4 million per year that Fujitsu is stating it will cost. BC SITS is intended to generate no profit. Any investments can expect a return within 1 year. Any profit following that will be carried over into the next year, and prices for districts will be adjusted accordingly. Now obviously, given the fact that Fujitsu has already received a contract, puts BC SITS behind the 8 ball, so to speak. However, given the track record of Fujitsu and BC ESIS, it is conceivable that a market for upstarts like BC SITS exists. Open Student has 8 districts interested. No SIS has demonstrated how they plan to tap into the 100+ independent schools and 20+ First Nation schools. This is the road that BC SITS will travel. It will start in independent schools and then focus on unsatisfied districts. BC SITS has the potential to be a benefit for districts. With each passing year, districts have more costs offloaded onto them, including wage increases. This year, all 60 districts sent letters to the Ministry of Education asking to be fully funded, or services to students would start to suffer. At $10 per student and $9.4 million per year, the ConnectEd BC is just too expensive, and Open Start needs to open itself up to parents. Until those days, remember BC sits, and the future is now.